What's up, everyone? I am Dimebot, and welcome back to Flight Sim and Favorite Places to Fly. Today, we're going to be headed to Mexico to check out the largest freshwater lake in Mexico since the desiccation of Lake Texcoco in the early 17th century. That would be Lake Chapala. It is a big old freshwater lake, so let's go ahead and get flying and check it out. Alright, here we are rolling. You can see the lake right in front of us. Good view from the runway, and this should be a fairly easy takeoff in this XS tall. I'm not going to hurry it though. We'll take up as much runway as we feel like we need. And we are up, leaving from the town of Chapala. I'm not so sure about the super yachts being a normal thing on the lake, but we'll just roll with it. Now we're going to be headed towards a couple of the primary features of the lake. There are 3 islands. We are passing one right now, Isla de los Alacranes. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. We're headed towards Isla Mezcala and La Isla Menor. Now, Isla Mezcala is the largest island, and it is home to an old Spanish fort and an old Mexican prison. Let's get some quick stats on the lake out of the way here. It is located about 45 kilometers to 28 miles southeast of Guadalajara in Jalisco State. We're actually situated on the border between the states of Jalisco and Michoacan right now. The lake's a pretty high lake. We are at 5,000 feet above sea level. That's 1,524 meters. And as far as how big it is, well, I mentioned it was the largest lake in Mexico, largest freshwater. It is about 80 kilometers, 50 miles from east to west, and about 12.5 to 7.8 miles north to south, 12.5 kilometers, excuse me. So we're covering an area of about 1,100 square kilometers, 420 square miles. Interestingly, this lake is pretty shallow. Your mean average depth is going to be about 7 meters, that's 23 feet, and a maximum of 10.5 meters or 34 feet. Now, it is also a young lake. They have done carbon-14 dating on wood samples they found in the sediments of the lake, and they indicate an age of about 38,000 years. So that means the lake occurred in the late Pleistocene period, so about 1 million to 25,000 years ago. So it's not a old lake by any stretch of the imagination, especially compared to some of the lakes that we have flown over before on the show. But in human terms, 38,000 years is still a really long time ago. Now you can see the island in front of us, the larger island, and then the smaller La Isla Menor off to the side. We'll also note the mountain ranges that surround the lake. It's actually very, very picturesque. Really, really nice scenery. Now, I don't know that we will actually see the old fort, or if we do, if it will look right. Now, the lake is fed by multiple rivers, Rio Lerma, Rio Zula, Rio, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, and Rio Duero, formerly drained by the Rio Grande de Santiago. According to Wikipedia and some other sources, the lake hasn't had water flow out in over 30 years due to a fall in the supply of incoming water. I've tried to fact check that one, and I keep getting the same info of about 30 years. Don't quote me on that one, because that seems a little suspect that I can't find any actual hard dates. Here we are passing over, and let's see what we got. So, yep, we do have some buildings. However, I don't think that looks much like an old Spanish fort. That's fine. Can't expect them to model absolutely everything. It would be nice if they did. Let's go ahead and gain some altitude and turn back over the lake. Now, as I said, we have plenty of surrounding mountains. There are plenty of other places that you can potentially fly to from here as well. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Now, ecologically, this lake has had a hard time. The city of Guadalajara has relied on it as a principal water source since the 1950s. Erosion due to deforestation, pollution really took a toll on the lake, increasing sedimentation, contributing to loss of depth, damaging the ecosystem. We'll go ahead and take a look at the EFB, and you'll kind of see everything that's scattered around here, as long as we can get it centered properly. So you'll see all that air traffic. There are multiple larger cities around us here. As I said, Guadalajara. Now, you could potentially fly from here to a lot of other places. However, if you take off from Chapala, remember that was a very short airstrip. So you're going to need to make sure that you either stop somewhere else and switch planes, or that you're flying somewhere that you can actually reach. Guys, back to my point about the ecology. The lake is recovering. It has recovered quite a lot. Levels are not back up to what they were in 1979 when they began to decline so much. And even though the water quality and water level have improved, in 2017 it was still assessed as a risk to public health, so you don't want to go swimming here. But the lake is on the recovery, which is good because it is a critical habitat for some species of migratory birds like the American white pelican. So with any luck, this lake can get back on its feet and continue to be a just beautiful, beautiful place to come visit. As always, a float plane would be neat here. Plenty of little places to set down. Still not so sure about all the large yachts that are on this lake, but the sim wants to put them there, so the sim can actually put them there, I guess. But yeah, been an absolutely lovely place to fly. But that is going to do it for me today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment on the channel section. Community section of the channel is now open. And if you are here to the end, watch time is key on YouTube. So thank you so much for helping me feed the algorithm. My name is Dimebot, and I will see you guys next time.